We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill Dewitt, broadcasting from pretty Park City, Utah.
Today, Jill and I talk about fear of success as defined by Jill. And I mentioned it yesterday. We were on a show, a podcast, as a guest yesterday.
It was Before the Millions with DeRay. I can never pronounce his last name correctly, but it was really interesting.
Yes, there's all kinds of questions about what was it like before you guys, made a go of it, buying and selling land separately and collectively. And I learned a bunch of stuff about Jill. One of the things I learned is that's how this topic came up. He said, why don't people do this? And Jill immediately said fear of success. Mm-hmm. And then she went on to explain herself, and I'm like, wow, because we never talked about this. Mm-hmm. And it actually makes a lot of sense. So before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
John wrote, "Hi guys. I sent out my first mailer to my first county about a week and a half ago, 1,800 units. Currently waiting for that to start hitting mailboxes so I can see what the response is. I've got another mailer for another county queued up for another 1,800 units. Should I send it out this week? Or am I setting myself up to be completely overwhelmed by the responses?" Awesome. Do you want to go on?
I mean, I can tell you what I think.
Okay.
What you're going to find out when these people start calling back is that the process that you put in place to take, like that intake process for analyzing deals and accepting the ones that are good and rejecting the ones that aren't, is flawed. Because everybody does it differently, and I'm not, and I include myself and all this stuff. The first time you try this stuff, it's just a disaster. So I would not send out another mailer. I would wait on this 1,800. You're going to hone your skills on buying some property and do the whole thing. And then once you've got like maybe one acquisition or two acquisitions under contract and you're getting set up to sell them or post them on the internet, that's when I'd send the mailer out.
There comes a few times a year we are not exactly on the same page. And this might be one of them. I would actually...
A few times a week, actually. A day, sometimes.
I was being really nice. Try to be nice. But this is one where I don't know if I would do it. I think if you're brand new, I think 1,800 units a week out of the gate, if you're a one-man show and you have a full-time job, might be a little bit heavy. But if you don't have a full-time job... and you have all the time in the world, this is not nuts. I would say I would do every other week, because once you start the process going, you're going to get into a groove. That's just me though. So again, this is all personal preference. Steven's theory is get it all the way through, and there's nothing wrong with that concept. Figure out all these little mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, and figure them all out, and then you can dive in a different way. I'm kind of a let's figure it out as I go, and not because I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to be in the habit of stopping and starting, because that's where some people drop the ball.
If you're in the process of trying to find a permanent female, I would highly recommend finding one with Jill's attitude, where you're not just fix the stuff as you go, because stuff's going to go sideways. Right. So, but if you are looking for a spouse, male or female, who needs to pre-plan everything out, and it's got to be all and then all they're going to do is end up being disappointed. Right. No matter what happens, you gotta find a go with the flow spouse.
So here's how to put this in another way that I know Stephen will really love. Think of this mailer like dating. Do you want to date one person for 90 days and see how it goes and tie all your energy up in that? No, you want to get mailer over here, mailer over there, because then one of them's going to be great. And you didn't waste 90 days.
Women always say that.
90 days.
God, I wasted 90 days
90
on you.
days.
If I had a nickel for every time a woman said some sentence like that, I just wasted the last 6 months of my life. Yeah, well,
Well, we actually happen to know a man.
The waste word.
I got to tell you, we know a man, a very smart man. He's a defense attorney in Los Angeles, who actually keeps track of how much money he spends on dinner dates to find out, like, God, I've got $900 invested in this person. I don't think I like them. I'm like, what does the money have to do with anything, number one? And number two, didn't you figure that on the first dinner? Why'd you go out even more and just to make sure? I don't understand.
We frequent the same house party, not, on different, every week there's a party at this house, and there's a group of people that are always there. And the last time you brought this up, I said, well, the good news is that you're a lawyer and you can actually count and do math.
That's true.
Unfortunately, it's dinner money.
Exactly.
So you're in the minority there.
That was funny.
Today's topic, fear of success, as defined by Jill. This is why you're listening.
Okay, so as we were talking, as we mentioned, we were on this other gentleman's show. He's so nice, and we had such a good time, and I think it lasted an hour. So if you want to, I don't know when it's going to air. I'm sure this show will air before that show, so you're going to have to keep an eye out for it. Too. So make sure you're in our email or you're, linked up in social media or something, because you'll see it when it comes up. But it was called Before the Millions, and his name is DeRay. And all of his questions we're used to being on other people's shows where they ask real technical questions. Yeah. And he asked all mindset questions and theory questions. And how did you get here? I want to get to know what kind of people you are, what makes you different, and how you got here to try to help other people to, get to this point in their careers also, or just have this kind of a career, I guess. And one of the questions he just flat out said was, what do you think is the number one reason? We both had different reasons, obviously. What's the number one reason why you think people aren't successful here, why they can't do this? And I just said fear. And it's not, and everybody always assumes it's fear of failing. And I argue that it's not, because this is what I explained to DeRay on the podcast was most of my, not all, but the majority of my personal consulting calls are with people, and it's all mental. It's not picking a county. It's not figuring out days on market. It's not, did I price this correctly? Those are usually the calls that Steven tackles. Mine are these big picture theory.
Inspirational.
Inspirational, exactly. Like, wow, having trouble getting this over this hurdle. What I'm afraid. And it's so interesting because they're smart people. You are very, very smart. Everyone in our group you bring something different to the table, and we celebrate that and we appreciate that. That's what makes our group so amazing. But what's common is people are just as afraid of failure as they are of success. Because being afraid of success means, now I'm just going to open up all these other things that I have to do now. There's security people have in a W-2 job. They know their paycheck, where it comes from. They know the bills are going to get paid. They know what their check's going to be every week. They know they only have to show up. I only have to perform to this level and do all these things. It's very secure. But when you are your own boss in your own company, when you're starting off and you're doing it on the side, right? You're doing this on the side while you have your W-2 job. This is all great. This is good. I know my bills are paid. Over here, I'm making money to pay for vacations, maybe pay for our second home, maybe pay off our home, maybe pay for college or whatever you're trying to do on the side. But, if this all goes well, I'm going to have to make a decision. And that's what you and I had to do. Got to a point in our careers separately, you way before me, obviously, where we had to make a decision like, okay, am I going to do this full-time or part-time? And if you're any good at it, you're going to do it full time, because you're going to quickly, your pay is going to overcome your W-2 pay, as did ours. And then it opens up a whole new set of responsibilities. That's the point. Shucks, now I'm going to have to get an LLC. I'm going to be doing taxes differently. I got to get an accountant or a better accountant. I might have to build a team. I'm going to have to manage people. There's going to be so much going on that I never had to think about, because I was never an owner or never a boss. So that's my what I wanted to share today is I don't want you to be afraid of this. you can do this. I understand the fear, and we're here to help you.
The vast majority of people, professional people in this country, want to be told what to do. They don't. Or they need to be told what to do. They need to be told what time to go to work, when to log on. If they're salespeople, they need to have a hot list of stuff where they can just make some phone calls and know that for every 10 calls they make, they're going to sell something or at least get some kind of, and whatever the numbers end up being. That's a vast majority of the people. And if you sit down and open a beer with most of them, what they will say to you is, no, I hate my job. But in the end, they're not going to do anything about it. The group of people that are involved in Land Academy, and certainly the DeRay, in DeRay's constituency, his listener group, I don't believe are those people. I think they actually take action and do stuff. Because I'll tell you, Jill's exactly right. I learned a lot listening to you on the show, and just now too. Yeah, starting an LLC sucks. I don't like paperwork. Building a staff, one of the hardest things I've ever done is build staff, if not the hardest from a professional standpoint. But once you're done with that and you've got the machine in place, and it's going to take a good 2 years. Everything I've ever started, I don't care how I do it, it takes 2 years until it really kicks in where you don't have to look at it every day and worry. But geez, is it worth it? I mean, for the rest of our lives, we will be buying and selling land, and it feeds us well. And now our kids, all 3 of our kids in some capacity work for us now. So you have to just yeah, I was afraid too. I was afraid that I wasn't smart enough to do this in the beginning. Yeah.
That's interesting. You learn.
You just
Trial
do it.
And error. You learn.
I never take, tomorrow I'm going to screw something up. I guarantee it. Well, it's only 1 o'clock today. I'll screw up 2 more things at least before Jill and I go to bed. So
that's true.
And I don't care.
So will
she doesn't judge me.
I don't care.
We laugh about it.
We all do. I screw up things. Oh my gosh.
I don't take it
So
personally.
what?
I'm like, so I made a mistake. I don't know.
That's it. You fix it and you move on. Well, and
this is so foreign to me. I have to tell you.
This is what's so good about. Gosh, this is one of those things too. Like I wish I had us. I wish I had you. You had no one. So it's so beneficial to have someone who's 3 months ahead of you, 6 months ahead of you, 3 years ahead of you, and that's. I know this is stuff this is like a whole separate show and whole separate topic, and I mean a separate podcast. But one of the things that's why we've thrown around that we have learned so much that we can help people with, not just in Land Academy, but just running a business and building a membership community and creating content, making a podcast.
Every single job I've ever had since before I was 16 years old, I was thinking one of 2 things in the back of my head. Number 1, how can I take this company over? This is from the very first day I worked there. Or number 2, how can I learn enough from all this so I can go start my business and take the customers? And I don't mean to sound mean or type A or narcissistic. That's not the case. And in every single case, nobody ever got hurt. I never took any of those companies over, and I never stole anybody's clients. I didn't. What I did was learn about how to do stuff and then go start my own company and do it better.
Right.
So this fear thing, I know we're trying to help people here, Jill, and I know that I understand, does this apply to you?
Does this apply? No, I don't have this.
Are you afraid of anything?
Not really.
If you've ever been afraid of anything, I've never seen it.
No, I know.
I mean, you've never let me see it.
That has to be nature, not nurture.
I agree.
Because my little brother was afraid of everything, and he overcame it though.
He's probably afraid of losing a presidential campaign.
He's afraid of me right now. There is that. But
please don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
And if you are one of those people who's never afraid of anything, start buying and selling real estate. I don't care where you get educated. I don't care how you do it, but now's the time. It's a perfect time to start this.
Yeah, if you're not afraid, you should be trying everything. That's what we do, and I love it. I don't know why I'm not. Do you know what? I'll tell you why I'm not afraid. I'll end it on this. I'm not afraid because I know I can fix it. I know I know I make really good decisions. I'm never writing one check for $1 million. That's all my money. I'm never doing anything like that. I really
That's true.
make calculated, cautious, maybe sometimes a little like, okay, I'm jumping in here, but I sleep on it. We're really good at the decisions that we make. So
To our detriment sometimes.
And I know I can fix them. If I did something wrong, I can fix it.
For the first time in my life, there's been about 3 or 4 decisions in the last 24 months where I said, we shouldn't buy this piece of real estate. One was really recent, like a week ago. Mm-hmm. And I regret it.
Well, we didn't buy it.
We did. That's what I'm saying. I regret not buying it
because
okay. I know it's going to be worth $1 million 12 months from now.
That's okay.
Worth
you know what?
$1 million more.
That happens. If you make a cautious decision, you have to just say, oh well, I'll look at it differently next time.
I don't kick myself because we'll make it up times 10.
It doesn't matter. But I think how I recover and why I'm a little bit different is I make these decisions and I know that I will do whatever it takes to fix it. So it's not like I won't stop. It might be a problem for some people. But it works well for me is if I made some big mistake, let's just say I bought a property, the zoning's all wrong or there's something I goofed on.
I don't care
about that. I'm
not afraid of that stuff at all.
But let's just say I did something that I made a mistake. I won't stop until I get to the bottom and find a way to fix it. That's where I am. Okay, I'm going to go to this dinner and meet this person. I don't know what I'm just kind of dreaming up an idea, but I'll get to the bottom of it, get to know the right person, find out what do I have to do. And then even if someone says this has never been done before, that doesn't stop me. My reply is, well, I guess this is the first, isn't it? Seriously, that's kind of how I roll. So I know I'm kind of the other extreme, but I want you to, I just want you to know that I hear you. I have talked to a lot of you, and fear of success and fear of failure are both important, and you can do it. Happy you could join us today. You can find us Monday through Friday right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Why Municipalities' Rules Are Preventative. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
There's another thing. Municipalities' rules. I'm going to try to bend them.
I have a lot to say on this topic, and it just shocks me that the people who are in charge at local municipalities for zoning ordinances and generally just, big real estate decisions are just buffoons. I mean, they are so far over their head, most of them, not all of them, that it's silly. And it's too bad because people like us that are motivated by profit could really make communities amazing.
Are you going to talk about the two different APNs that have two different buildings on them that we've stumbled across in the last 48 hours?
Yeah, and they're unwilling to split properties and just the general lack of...
It makes no sense.
It's for some reason, and it's happening at the federal level right now. On both, I don't care about it's at the right and the left. It's just there's so many rules. I don't think the country was like this in the beginning.
Right.
There were presidents in the past who have said that's not the role of government. Government's not going to get involved in that.
Right.
And so it's got to be ego or something.
We hope you find our content valuable, and thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please get over to YouTube and check out our channel and hit the subscribe button. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.